And let me just go ahead and get started and we'll dive in. So just so you remember, Auctria was founded in 2011 as charity auction organizer. We updated our name and logo to Auctria in 2016. Like many awesome tools out there, this program was designed out of need. We too were tired of paper bid sheets, unorganized tracking, long, cumbersome checkouts. There had to be a better way. So our founder brilliantly developed Auctria from the ground up, taking into account the entire process of running an auction fundraiser, from the very first donation to the last receipt and all the bidding in between. And since its inception, Auctria has helped fundraise for 21,000 auctions, 1.6 million bidders, and over $140 million. And each one of you are probably a part of that. So congratulations. This is our agenda for Welcome Back to Fall 2019. And this is what we're going to go over. For some housekeeping, you guys are in listen only mode. And as we travel through the slides, just drop in any questions as we go into the bottom right-hand corner, questions or comments. And then at the conclusion, we'll go through and we'll answer and reply to everything that you have. I know the next question that you want to know is, will the slides and resources be available? Of course they are. I wouldn't leave you hanging. After this webinar concludes, it'll drop to our main webinars page, and it'll take me a day or two to get everything up there. So go ahead and save it, favorite, save it into your favorites, and you'll have the resource links as well as a playback. You'll also get an email with the link of that information. So today we're going to welcome you back to the fundraising season. The Auctria development team has been really busy over the summer, freshening up the app so that you can do even more things better, faster, and with higher outcomes for your auction fundraising. So we have a new user guide, a mobile application for Apple and Android devices, and we'll talk about token access for online and mobile bidding. There's some new email and communications pieces. We have a tickets update, and then we'll do a refresher on how to edit bids. Payment default options have been modified. There's a reports update, and we'll go over some frequently asked questions for those of you that are starting a new auction. But I have a question for you first. I want to know what your Auctria IQ is. I want to know kind of who's on the line with us and how we can tailor this webinar and the ones going forward in the future. So I want to know how you would describe your Auctria knowledge. Just pop in a single choice. Either I know nothing, teach me. I can log in, but I need help from there. Or I kind of got the basics, but I'm hoping to get smarter. Or I've been using it a while, but we can always learn more. So I'm curious as to where this group stands in their Auctria IQ, and we're hoping to get everybody a little smarter, and us too. We're always looking for feedback. We're always looking to improve the product. I personally am always looking to improve our content on our website, and I'm also looking for groups that want to be spotlighted on our website. Lots of times I chat to auction groups and do a little spotlight article, and they always have really good information to share as to how they accomplish their goals that they'd like to share with other teams. So it looks like about 3/4 of you have put in a notification here. I'll click the end voting and I'll share the results with you. It looks like approximately 20% say they know nothing. So that's about 1/5 of the group. About 12% I can log in. About 40% says I got the basics, and then 9% I've been using it a while. So we have a nice diverse group here also. So thank you so much for sharing that with us, and we'll go ahead and move forward. So here's our agenda, which we just chatted about. And let's get started with our user guide. If you haven't been in the user guide for a while, you're going to want to take a new spin through there. Auctria help is always nearby. It's sitting in the top right-hand corner of your dashboard on the admin screen. Click the three vertical dots on the top right-hand corner and you'll see a drop down like the one shown here. This is the built-in GPS of Auctria. This is where you find the user guide and really cool quick start guides. So just click the three dots and the menu will appear. This is the shortcut to most frequently asked questions when you're asking yourself, how do I or can we? The Quick Start Guide is a great place to start to get acquainted and reacquainted with the Auctria program. The Quick Start Guides walk you through the key setup screens for your auction step, starting with concept, step by step, and screen by screen. The Quick Start Guides for getting all things auction set up and running are divided by topic. Like I said, each topic starts with the conceptual information and then how that's executed in Auctria. The Quick Start Guide goes through options that you may or may not have thought of. So this is a good place to mess around and get some inspiration as to how you can maximize your auction fundraiser with some different features and components. Remember, Auctria has been used in over 21,000 auctions, and through those experiences, new features and a wide variety of options have been added to make every effort to cover most of all the what ifs or can we. So when you're going through the startup guides, not all the steps will be applicable to every event, and you can skip those features that you're not using, or perhaps implement a couple new ones that you haven't been using. The Quick Start setup guides are for organization, auction, credit cards. Understanding and using item types is a really good one to dive into to see if there's something that you're potentially can use. Tickets, if you haven't used tickets, it's worth taking a spin through there also. Website, bidders, setting up an online auction, and there's even some information about auction training. So let's do a refresher on the banner at the top of the Auctria application page. The question mark searches the Auctria user guide. If you click it once, a search field appears, and that's where you can type in whatever term you need help with, and any of the applicable content will pop up underneath. Click it and read it. Click again, the search bar goes away, and it takes you directly into the user guide to browse for topics. If you click the magnifier glass, it searches that term for the auction that you are working in. And the bell is my favorite. This displays all the updates that have been made to the Auctria program. Like I said, we really are, well, not me personally, but our development team is always adding and adjusting to optimize your auction experience. Click the bell, see all the latest changes. Doing so, you'll find a complete archive of updates too. So if you haven't been in Auctria for a little while, it's worth a few minutes to go through and scroll through what has evolved. We're going to go over the big ones today. The speech bubble is the in-app messaging door for Auctria. You can click on the bubble and you will get the window displayed here with a hi there. And you'll see Tracy's picture in there. She's the one all the way to the right. She'll be chatting with us today too. We always suggest trying to search the Auctria guide, which has lots of descriptions and screenshots. But if you're stuck, please don't struggle. Reach out. The Auctria support team is not 24 hours. However, we try to reply as quickly as possible. And try to provide as many details as you can in your question. You'll receive a pop-up notification on the site of our replies and also an email. Here's one for you. Have you ever asked a question before and totally forgot what that answer is? That's okay, I have too. You can also access previous conversations at any point by clicking the blue text under the support team photos. It shows all previous conversations and you'll see a complete chat history. Very happy to share the latest and greatest and shiniest object in the Auctria application is the Auctria mobile app. It is designed as a bidding tool, not necessarily for administration management, and you can think of the mobile app as kind of a digital bidding handle. The Auctria mobile app is available for both Apple and Android devices. When using the app, bidders can view the catalog, place bids, place proxy bids, And my personal favorite part is you receive immediate outbid notifications. This helps bids soar higher so much faster. I highly recommend using the mobile app for events where bidders are scattered, such as a golf or a sports event, maybe a carnival at a school, and most definitely if the auction is an online event. So here's some views of the mobile app. You've got the admin view and you've got the bidder view. The mobile apps, like I said, are geared toward bidders and bidding on online auctions. There is no auction event admin features available on the mobile app itself. And most important, the mobile app does not support full bidder registration. I'll go through the details on this. But we found in testing the mobile device, it was just too cumbersome for people inserting credit card numbers and such. So we made the access process easier with the quick access token that I keep teasing, but I swear I'll tell you more about it. I'll review those details as we move along. So here's some reasons to use the mobile app. People can quickly find items, they can place bids, they can place proxy bids, and receive outbid notifications. For an admin, the usage for a better bidder experience, they can provide outbound information. You can have a mobile auction logo. They can add an About Us section. They can include bidding instructions, bidding notifications. You can also include an external website for page links. You can set up your view catalog pages. You can set up a donations page. You can provide custom text and image that will be shown on the event page of the app after the bidder signs in. If you do not provide a special mobile logo, the organization or the auction logo will be shown. When you decide to use the Auctria mobile app, tell everybody. And there's no need to invent the wheel here. We got you covered with a pre-made flyer. You can share the flyer either on paper, in emails, or on your social channels. And the way you do so, you print the flyer, you find it on dashboard forms, Word templates, auction information, and mobile download flyer. Here's a close-up of the front page of a sample auction on the mobile device from the bidder's point of view. Remember, think of this as a bidding tool, kind of like an electronic bidder handle. Bidders can view the catalog, place bids, place proxy bids, receive their outbid notifications. One of my favorites is they can star the items they're looking for, they're keeping an eye on. And then they can go ahead and sort by many options. There's a little scroll wheel that they can utilize to view their starred items, items I'm winning, items I've bid on, or even items they've been outbid on. So from inside the Auctria application on your desktop, if you click online mobile bidding from the main dashboard, you can access the different settings pages and set up the mobile app. This is for you, the admin now. You can add a web page, you can add text that we were talking about, you can add a special image just for the mobile, and then you can add in any pages, catalog pages, etc. Web page is any website that you desire. We do suggest, though, that if you're sending a bidder to a web page, most likely your web page, that it be mobile friendly to maintain a positive bidder experience. You don't want to send the user to a particular web page within your auction website. That you want to use one that's mobile friendly. Text and image are kind of obvious. You can do text, you can do images. A catalog page is easy for bidders to view, sort, and filter. You can filter by category if you've set up categories. And I have a full-blown webinar on how to set up your auction items. Categories really make it easy on the mobile app for people to sort through and find things that they want to bid on quickly. Explore the options to achieve the mobile experience that you want the bidders to have on the mobile setup. Okay, let's talk a little bit about bidder access now. You set up the mobile system and now the bidders are coming to your door. So Auctria Mobile Access has a couple different avenues here. The bidder can access via a full registration, via a token, or a QR code. A bidder token is a short alphanumeric code that the system, when I say the system, I mean Auctria, automatically assigns to each bidder, which enables them to sign in and participate without needing to register. That's the key there. With your bidder token, they do not need to register. So let's go through each scenario a little more in depth. The bidder does need to download the Auctria app from their respective app store. Let's just start there as a baseline. So via registration means that the bidder went online to your auction website, registered as a bidder with an email and a password. They most likely hung out there, purchased an event ticket, maybe did some VIP upgrades, perhaps they did some pre-bidding. With full registration, they can use the mobile app for bidding, purchases, donations. Via token is kind of like a shortcut to bidding. I kind of silly. My son and his friend, they go through the bushes to get to each other's houses because they're right back against each other. Otherwise, they'd have to go all the way around the block. So this is kind of like their token. It's a shortcut to bidding. A few scenarios. A person would walk up, pays cash, and wants to now begin bidding. A friend or colleague paid for tickets, and they now need their own bidder number. You're running a free event. It's a big public event, and people just need a bidder number. A token requires email address, and then the person would need access to that email from the mobile device that they will be bidding from. The token access will only allow the bidder to do as much as is defined in the auction setup options. So you as the admin can or cannot require a credit card and registration for purchases. You may or may not require a credit card for some of the other purchases. Whatever you have set up is what will stop or allow the token user to proceed with. So if there is a required credit card registration, the token user will be stopped at that point, and it'll say you cannot require, please register. Via QR code, you can print off a bidder label that can include a QR code. The bidder would be able to scan with their mobile device. So a lot of groups will want to print off labels with their bidder paddles. When bidders come in, they just scan their QR code and off they go. Using a QR code is the same parameters as a bidder code. And if you've been hanging around Auctria, we can give you some more options. If they have a register card, they can still use the token. Let's look at this from another angle, starting with the registration status and what the activity that the bidder wants to perform. The Auctria mobile access is either the email or the token or the QR code. The bidder access options for registered bidder, they can download the app and log in. Those are the easy ones. The unregistered ones, you can send an access token. The access token is sent by admin via email, and then they can click and access the bidding activities without needing to register or password. Let's look at this from the day or the night of the event. Either way, the person is going to have to download the Auctria mobile app. Registered bidders, like I said, just download the app and log in. Unregistered bidders can receive an email with an access token. And I'm going to state the obvious here, but the person needs to be able to access the email on their mobile device that you're sending the access to. So they log into their email, pick up the token, and then they can proceed just as any other guest would. This is what the mobile app looks like in real life. As you can see, it says enter your email address or bidder token, and then the green one in the middle, the green bar, says scan your bidder label. So those are the three options we've been talking about: email and password, access token sent via email, or your QR code where you can scan your bidder label. So hop on the app and up go the bids. Let's walk through this from the perspective of the check-in desk, day of, night of auction. A bidder access token can be sent directly to the bidder from the check-in page. You simply navigate to the bidder check-in page, find the bidder you're working on, and on the left, click Send Access Token. It's pretty easy. If a brand new person shows up at the desk, you'll get an email address and repeat the same process. And like I said, if you've been hanging around Auctria for any period of time, there's always multiple ways to do almost everything. This is true for tokens too. From the individual bidder page, you can manage access tokens. Find the bidder you want to work on. First step, assign access code, which is literally click a button that says assign access code. Then you'll be able to view the access code below their profile. That's the 8-digit alphanumeric code. And then click send. The access token will be sent to the bidder via email. They copy and paste it into the app, and it unlocks the bidding door. Let's talk a little more about QR codes. If you have a mobile-friendly auction, you may want to utilize QR codes more broadly. QR codes really are versatile. There's a couple ways to utilize them. You can scan the QR code to get the Auctria mobile device itself, to get the mobile app itself. So the QR code that I have listed here is a one link. And instead of going to the Apple store and searching for Auctria or going into the Google store and searching for Auctria, this is kind of like the fast lane with the QR code. Scan the QR code and it'll take the mobile user to the app download page of their respective device. QR codes are available for bidder sign-in. Like I said, you can print off a bidder label paddle that can include a QR code for the bidder. They'd be able to scan with their mobile device, use a QR code, means the bidder won't have to type in anything else to access the auction. You can also print off QR codes for items, and you can include those into the display pages. Bidders can scan the QR code from a printed display page, and it will take them directly to that item in the app. The sooner they can find something that they want to bid on, the sooner they'll put in a bid and the sooner they'll be outbid. So let's move on to one of the newest features that Auctria has added recently. Actually, it's not new, it's been completely refreshed and upgraded. Over the years, the Auctria app has evolved in helping groups better communicate with bidders and donors. Statements and receipts have always been a part of the Auctria core, but now we've gotten even better, and we've launched the new email editor. I say new because it came out in March. It got pushed through as a permanent in April. So if you haven't been with us for a little while, it is new. If you were using it back in April, you may have had to actually click the button to make it active. So the new email features are currently here. They are automatic for new events that are created after April 9th. For older events created prior to April 9th, you'll need to actually opt in. So the best practice for emails is to carry over the branding to all the emails. For usage in your email manager, I'm talking about headers and footers. You can also view previously sent emails. You'll be able to edit and send custom emails. I think across the US right now, I hear a couple cheers. You can edit system emails. You can do that under communication, manage system emails. And for system emails, what I'm referring to are the bidder emails for invitations, registration, tickets, e-ticket statements. You can also mess around with the bidding emails like online bidding, high bid notices, outbid notices. In addition, you can update or edit bidder purchases, registration, tickets, and I'm also referring to donor emails and receipts. All these can be edited with the new email manager. Let's take a closer look at what that looks like. This is what the email manager looks like in the Auctria program. Using the email editor, is intended to be intuitive and straightforward. An email message is made up of the following pieces. Follow along with me. It's kind of like building a Lego tower here. An email message is made up of the following pieces: a series of sections, then each section has one or more rows, and then each row has one or more columns. And then each column can contain a series of content elements, whether that be a text, an image, or a button. All of these will stack vertically. So essentially, you drag and drop the rows and columns. You drag and drop content blocks like the text, button, dividers, images, spacers if you want. After you drag and drop, you will edit. These building blocks make it possible to build sophisticated looking emails that will display well on all modern email clients. The elements shown on the left can be dragged over to the email message and you insert them. Frequently used blocks for social media, contact us, event logo, instructions, and mobile links make it all simple to build that email. So after you drag and drop the sections, the blocks, the rows, the columns, now you're going to go ahead and edit these blocks. And you would edit these as you would in any other editor out there. You can mess around with text or font size, type, color. You can add bullets and determine alignments. I do want to draw your attention to the 4 indicators. They're kind of light to see there, but there's a green circle around it and it's a blowout underneath. The 4 indicators are a pencil to edit, a trash can to delete, and you can also move and duplicate sections. If for some reason you don't see the 4 icons, it may be because you're working on a smaller screen or a laptop and you just need to adjust your scroll to the left or right. So I want to focus on images here for a second as it relates to emails because it's really, really important. We always suggest when using emails to use an image box. They will render much better across devices. This works better than embedding an image in a text box. This helps everything line up nicely on all types and sizes of screens, tablets, and devices. Here's how it looks when you're adding an image inside of Auctria. After you drag and drop the image block, think you figured it out. Now it's time to edit it. And doing so means uploading the image, and then you can modify any of the image settings such as formatting, alignment, and links. Email headers and footers are one of the most frequently asked questions that come across the support desk. So I'm hoping to give you some information here to help you update yours. You can define a standard email header and footer for your event that will be used on all emails unless you explicitly disable it. Both are editable, and just like the interior content with the drag and drop operations. You can see the image here that says auction name and it's red on the left and blue on the right. That's just our standard header. If you do nothing, it will have your auction name and it'll look like that. By default, that's what it'll look like. The auction name is used rather than trying to show a default auction logo because of the challenges with an image size. Many logos by default aren't suitably sized for emails and end up looking really large and out of proportion. So you can swap that out. And it's best to customize with a customized email header with a custom image that's designed for that purpose. We recommend an image between 900 to 1200 pixels wide and around 300 pixels tall. So if you can imagine that, it's a really wide image, but it's not very tall. And that'll make your headers look really nice. I will provide a video link that shows exactly how to do this step by step, screen by screen. Let's talk about the footer for a second. The default email footer will show social media icons for your event and contact email details. These are dependent on what you define in the social media links that you clicked on in the organization level. So go ahead and make sure you include the ones that you use, and if you don't include them, they will not show up, only the ones that you place information in. So custom emails are another way you may want to communicate with your audience. It's the same process here. Drag, drop, edit, add text, add images, and off you go. Then, to see the image will look like, you can use the preview button. Tickets have been updated. And from the admin side, you can now set the quantity and you can set some information about sharing a bidder number. If you haven't used Auctria tickets before and wondering if it's a fit or where to start, our user guide has an overview video on tickets. And the Auctria demo is always available if you want to take a look there as well without messing around with your data. If you have new people to your team, tell them to go and check it out also. It's always a good idea to get some fresh eyes and fresh ideas. A friendly reminder though, tickets should be sold through the Sell Tickets page under the Tickets Dashboard Actions menu, not through the Bidding Sales page. Tickets sold through a bidding sales page will not create guest records or generate tickets or assign any sort of bidder numbers. So you always want to sell tickets through the Sell Tickets page. So not completely new, but refreshed, there's two things. You can set the quantity for the total number of tickets available, so you can put a cap on that. And you can specify when and if sharing a bidder number when purchasing a new ticket. Let's look at these a little closer. There is a new feature. You can set the limit on the total number of tickets to be sold for your event across all ticket items. So how you would do that is you would click on the tickets link in the dashboard, and this is where you're setting up your tickets, modify max number of tickets setting to an exact quantity. If you only have 100 seats to sell, make it 100. You can leave 0 if it's blank. If you leave it blank, it will be unlimited. So then you can elect to send tickets by email or to guests. There's another check mark there. That's up to you. There's an option on the ticket page for sharing bidder numbers. When checked, the purchaser and all guests will share a single bidder number. Let's go through some of these scenarios and see what it looks like in real life and when you might want to use them. So you want to sell a table of 10 seats. The Auctria system can now automatically create a table after the purchase is complete. This makes a whole table. Perhaps the purchaser of 10 tickets but does not provide guest information for all the tickets. It can create a placeholder for bidders labeled guest of for the extra guests. The advantage here is to have the ability of the purchaser to update with guest information when they have it. Then they can also send along e-tickets after the fact. In the case where you want to sell 2 tickets at a time, typically it's a couple that will want to share a bidder number. So you can check that box if applicable. When purchasing, entering the same email address will share a bidder number. So there's a setting on the ticket set up for that, just a little click box. Here's a close-up of what that looks like in Auctria. Let's talk about bids. This is the most exciting part of the auction. The bids are rolling in, they're getting higher and higher, and you're going to be able to fund all your needs. It's such a great auction day. So here's a refresher on entering bids that may have been updated since you used Auctria, or perhaps there's some features that you may not have realized existed. Recording and editing bids are typical, but did you know that you could promote, demote, split, and delete bids too? You can do everything from the item page under the activity tab. We don't expect you to memorize all these. There will not be a quiz at the end, but just file these away as a good to know in case you need to use one of these features in the future. So edit or modify a bid is pretty obvious. I want to talk about demoting a bid. Demote a bid. If a bid is the winning bid, then there is an option to demote the bid if they are no longer winning. Demoting a winning bid will not promote any other bids. In this case, if you have 4 people that are on there, there will be if there are 3 other bids, there'll be 4 non-winning bids, the one that's demoted as well as the ones that were non-winning. Promote. For a non-winning bid, you will have the option to promote it to the winning bid. The dollar amount will not change, and any higher bidder will not be the winner, just the promoted bid. Delete is kind of obvious also, but just to let you know, when deleting a bid, it deletes the bid and shifts all other bids. So if the winning bid is deleted, the next highest now becomes the current winning bid. Did you know that you can split bids at checkout? Every once in a while, you'll bump into a few bidders that pooled together to bid on and won an auction item. This usually happens with high ticket experience items, or a vacation house split a few ways, or travel packages with multiple people. You can easily manage this through a split bid page. On the checkout page, select the bidder that won the item as normal, then click on View Transactions. Look for the one that you want to work on and click on the split bid icon next to the bid you want to split. This is to the right of the item 1 that you're splitting the bid on. Choose the bidder or the bidders to split with. The split bid page will show the current winning bid for the item, let you to select the bidders that you want to split it amongst, and then by default, the page will split the bid amount evenly. You can disable this by unclicking the auto calculate on the left and manually entering in the amounts. After selecting the bidders to split, click on the split bid and it will show the complete operation. Now remember, this only splits the bids. The next step still remains to collect and record payments. Speaking of payments, the default payment method during checkout has been modified in Auctria, and this is brand new, and it's for your convenience upon request. A new option lets you configure the default payment selected on the checkout page. So you're at checkout, you're hanging out at the desk, and then you go to put in the checkout type. You can select what you want that default payment option to look like. This controls which tab on the payment form is selected by default, like I said. For new auctions, a bidder's registered card will be selected by default if available, or if the card option, if credit card processing is enabled. So inside of Auctria for the checkout page, on the left, click Payment Options, then this is what the pop-up window looks like after clicking Payment Options. The default payment method during checkout is set to registered credit card and then in parentheses if available. The new option on Auctria lets you configure the default payment option selected on the checkout page. For new auctions, a bidder's registered card will be selected by default if available, or the credit card option if enabled. If you want to make the default something different, you now have control. And the options are other payments with parentheses cash check, credit card terminal with parentheses tap capable. And before you ask, that is coming soon. It's not quite here, but we're gearing up for it. And then the third option is credit card with parentheses type or swipe. So reports have also been updated in Auctria, and there's hundreds of reports. And they're all real time, provided the information that you put in there is accurate, the reports will be accurate. In the past, you used to be able to run it for a single auction. Now you can reports for auctions all years, and you can tell if the report is doing that by looking at the report title. It should clearly state in parentheses, current event, like the yellow one displayed, or all auctions, like the blue one circled. And there's reports for items, donors, bidders, financial. You can add or delete columns to our reports. You can filter your view, and then the reports in Auctria are always presented on the screen in an easy to read grid, but you can download as an Excel, a PDF, or a CSV file. That usually makes the treasurers happy. Using the all year's data pre-auction right now is a really good time to review your previous year's activities and use that data to help you make some decisions for the next event. And we know you always want more, so after choosing the report that most closely aligns with what you're looking for, you can go to the options menu. Same thing, 3 vertical dots gives you access to more advanced features always on Auctria. Choose columns is where you can add or delete columns. Also, you can save your favorite views or make this a default view for the report for either you or the organization. And this harkens back to when people ask, do we really need to give each person their own login? Well, yes, it does help, especially when you want to preserve your report formats. Make sure nobody's messing around with the ones that you like. So you can always use report filters and sorts with the little drop-down arrows. Depending on the report, there may be one or multiple drop-down selectors, which will sort as filter controls for the data being displayed. Filter and sort so you can get an organized cursory view overview of the data. Now is a good time just to take a step back and look at an overview visualization of the hierarchy of your Auctria organization license. The organization is at the top, and the organization purchased and is the owner of the Auctria license. And depending on your purchase, depends the number of events you can run during the year. So bronze is 2, silver is 4, gold is 8, platinum is unlimited. The organization level details that were most likely set up upon purchase. However, now before you run your next auction is a great time to review those details and make sure everything's updated. At the org level, this is where you set up your logo. Did you refresh your logo since you've been on here? You might want to fix that. Double check your credit card connections, double check your social media links. If you have social media that you're not using, take it out. That's the worst you want to have is a social media links with a post that was 2 years ago. And donors and credit card are at the organization level also. Each event under that has its own items, bidders, and website. And you can also set admin level by event too. The reason I'm telling you this is because now you're getting ready to set up your new auction, and you may want to copy options now and or for later. So let's talk about how to do that. First, you want to enter the start date of the event. It doesn't have to be precise for the online bidding. You can specify that later, but you can copy all auctions, options, and settings at one shot and copy all of them, reuse the website, copy donors and donations. During the initial copy process or at a later date, you can do options and settings, donor donations, bidders. There's an option on there for registered credit cards, items, bidders, and clone the website. Should you choose not to, the items in the right-hand column or in the red oval, you can copy later, and that's items in bulk or individually, bidders, and clone the website. So let me bottom line this for you. Copy the for sure stuff that you 100% know that you're going to use for your next auction. Save the others that you're unsure for later to keep your data clean. While you're doing this, think a little bit more about cleaning up your old auction websites. You can archive the old websites so you don't have bidders view them. And this is especially helpful for the mobile app. You definitely want to consider archiving the auctions. An archived event is still available to you from the dashboard, but will be hidden from online and bidders, both on the website and the mobile app, like I said. You can set a date for when an auction is archived. You can set the archive date to be in the past or the future. And once that date is reached or the event is considered archived. We always get questions about copying items upon starting another auction event in Auctria. In the process of loading items, you may find the need to copy items from one auction to another, either individually or in group. This is available. The copy item process is push-based. What I mean from that is you want to start from the auction that has the items you want to copy, then literally push them, click on them to copy into the target auction. You'll then always get a big confirm copy box button asking you to confirm that you really want to copy the auction items. You may want to copy bidders. For an online-only auction, this can work really well. It lets you send out online access emails to those bidders immediately, which gives them a way to bid without having to do anything. Remember the token accesses we're talking about? For events where you are selling tickets, we don't recommend it since it clutters the bidder list with a lot of bidders that may or may not be actually coming. So, should you choose to do so, here's the how to copy bidders. This is also push-based. You select the source auction and push the bidders to the new auction. Choose the bidders that you want to choose. Choose the bidders you want to choose. That sounds funny. Choose the bidders you want to copy by clicking on the menu, the three dots, and then choosing bidders. And you can filter this by all bidders, bidders based on tags, somebody who's purchased a ticket with activity, without activity, won an item, with or without a registered card. There's lots of things there. When you've refined the list of the bidders to copy, decide if you also want to copy the registered cards. If not, clear the include registered card checkbox and click the copy bidders button. Another pop-up box will appear asking you, do you really want to do this? Click yes, click continue, and then the bidders will show up on your new auction. So up next for Auctria and the Auctria team, there's always more features and there's always more learning. You can view the fundraising auction articles by topic. I'll show you how to access those. And there's always new topics that are listed on our website in parts of news and in our Auctria news. We want to give you a heads up. The Giving Tuesday is coming up. On December 3rd, 2019, we suggest everybody to take advantage of Giving Tuesday. It is a global day of giving. And with your Auctria license, you can easily set up an online website to take advantage of donations on Giving Tuesday. I also mentioned briefly, I talk to auction teams a lot, and I love to spotlight auction teams. So if you guys want to share your auction story with me, I'd be happy to chat with you and post that on our website. And we have webinars scheduled all through September, October, November, and through the beginning of December. So keep an eye out for our schedule of events. You're never alone. Our support team is always around. Like I said, they're not 24 hours, but they do reply in a timely fashion. So if you ever get stuck, reach out. I want to direct your attention back to the main Auctria website. If you haven't been on there for a while and you just go directly into the app, there's a plethora of information to help guide auction teams through all phases of the auction fundraiser. On the left side under Auctria team, click the drop down and access the Auctria news articles. The Auctria news articles are awesome, and there are partners that have written content that range everywhere from how to write emails and how to engage people after an event to finding auction donations. It's a great place for new and seasoned people to get some old ideas and some new ideas. In the middle, you'll see fundraiser articles, and those are directly related to running an auction fundraiser and authored by the Auctria team. There's about 30 titles there with all sorts of printable resources also, like timelines and checklists, roles and responsibilities. There's articles on finding and working with volunteers with some printable donation, volunteer interest forms. There's a whole bunch of stuff. So take a spin through there also. And this is a summary of the resources that will be available after this presentation that we'll dump into. So you don't need to jot these down. Like I said, just favorite the page at the end, or if not, you'll get an email that'll have everything on it. And this is what I referred to throughout the discussion. So Auctria is very active on Facebook and Twitter. Follow us, share with us. Feel free to put any comments and questions in there. We love feedback and we love for teams to coordinate together. On Pinterest, we have a bunch of boards and there's over 500 pins on there that are direct links to donation request pages. And those are retail as well as services, all sorts of themed activities, sporting events, things along those lines. So hang out with us on Pinterest. You can always email us hello@auctria.com. You can always continue to mess around with the demo. If you have somebody new to the team, you want to do training, you want to try out something, do so on the demo and it keeps your data clean.